using your shin to create a post to set up a powerful backswing. Let's dive into it. All right, so really cool video here on how we can actually use the trail foot to create more grip, help us get pressure forward, and really start to control the environment of our backswing so that we can be better down at the bottom of our golf swing. Basically relating more to impact. So what I see out of a lot of players right here, and let me say this firstly, is when we start to look at what the trail leg does in the golf swing is, one, I do believe that we need to be in a hip tilt. I do believe that the trail side needs to be higher than the lead side. I also do believe that the trail leg extends. Just about every player that I would say that I've coached, for the majority, they extend their trail leg, because extending the trail leg is also one of the things that helps us get our hip, our trail side, higher than our lead side, so that we can actually get pressure back down into our lead side early in the transition. That being said, there is a big, I've seen this recently out of far too many lessons, which is kind of what's prompted me to make this video. I hope it sheds a little bit of light on an area that you might want to bring awareness to if you're losing too much height and standing up a lot in your downswing, okay? So the first thing that I would bring awareness to, and what I would watch, me as a coach, and I would have you watch this as a player right here, is how is the shin working in the backswing? So when we look at players right here who lose too much height very early in their backswing, a lot of times it's going to come from what they're doing from an ankle perspective and a knee perspective that's turning into a hip perspective, okay, that actually gets us to lower our spine too much. The problem is if we're working our spine down at too high of a rate, our arms are going to have to start collapsing as they work up. Otherwise, my backswing would stop right here. So I see a lot of this look right here out of a lot of players as they get stuck right here. And now if I were to come back down to the ball, I've brought the ground that far into play. And so then we start to see this combination of movements. We see down in the backswing, up in the downswing, okay? So we have this constant battle of up and down, and everybody's trying to keep their rear back, keep their head on the wall, and really we're not in a position to do it. So if we look at what happens right here, when I create too much extension from the ankle and I lock the knee out and the hip goes back, that's creating too much flex here in my lead side, which is lowering my upper body. It's going to make it really hard for my arms to move. If I just kept turning, I'd be over here. I don't think anybody from here is going to get the golf club back out in front of them fast enough to recover from that. So what I look at as a relationship here from a coaching perspective is if my shin starts right here, I have a little bit of flex right here in the ankle, okay? So it's not fully extended right here to start. There's a little bit of flex. Now if I held this right up here at 90 degrees, what I give players the okay to do is if they can extend just to 90 right there, where the shin is straight up and down, that's where I like to see, out of my parameters, that's where I like to see the trail leg and the shin working too. Because now what can happen from here is the center of the pelvis can work into the right femur more. And as this is working into the right femur more, and we're not just releasing all of this, this is starting to build up torque here in my trail foot. So this torque right here is going to help me manage and get pressure right here to push forward. I think it helps us get pressure forward a heck of a lot earlier. And it also helps as we start to turn and we extend the proper amount. When we extend to 90, we get a little bit of space right here in between the trail hip and the foot, and that's kind of one of our transfers back to our lead side early, so that can turn into a break, and then we can work the arms around our arc right there, around the arc. Okay, so I would bring a lot of awareness to this, and when we do this correctly, what I would say is think about your femur here. and think about your pelvis. Like if I held a T right in here, okay, the center of my hip is working closer to this T even though I'm extending my leg. Like if I brought this relationship back out in front of you, you can see how close that is together. This isn't working further away and my hips aren't turning and I'm just lifting the arms right there and collapsing. I think this is a really important piece right here. I hope you're enjoying today's video, and if you'd like the way that I explain things and how I break things down, I would love to have you check out my online membership site, Club TS. So inside of this, you're going to have access to unlimited video lessons, group coaching calls that we do weekly, and as well, you're going to have the ability to ask me questions where I can film content for you customized. We also offer practice plans for players of all abilities. So inside of the link here, that's going to give you access to a free 14-day trial that I would love to have you check out. So thank you for watching. Now back to the video. Great to understand all of this. Now what we need to be able to do is how do we build a station for it? So here's one that's worked really well for me in the past with players. I'll take an alignment stick. And what you'll see right in here that I'm going to do, so I'm going to put this in the ground right here. Okay, and this is basically going to be roughly on just outside of my heel line. Okay, so if we looked at this right here now, you can see I've got about a fist of space between my right knee, maybe a little bit less than where this stick is. Okay, so if I'm the player that does this right here, where I extend the ankle, lock the knee back, and sink into my left hip, I'm going to run into that stick there. So what I would set as a goal right here is as I'm turning to the top, you'll see this, I can still extend the leg. You can see I'm still extending the leg, but look at how the shin right here hasn't worked straight backwards. Because as soon as I work this straight backwards, a lot of times the upper body wants to go down and forwards. So build a station like this to create feedback, and your awareness that you should feel is you should feel more torque. If we zoom in here to my foot from face on right here, and you watch the outside of my foot, as I'm turning into my trail side and extending the leg, you can see how much pressure I've put on the outside of my foot and even the inside of my heel. So this is almost corkscrewing right here against the ground as the center of my pelvis is working into my right femur, my trail femur, as I extend the leg without hitting the stick right here. So we would go in here, make a few rehearsals. That feels really good. I can feel that pressure there in my trail side. And this will actually help me keep my height up quite a bit more. Do that one more time, and then we'll give it a go. And that right there to me felt really good. I could feel this pressure. You can even see where I've been standing, how much that's actually moving the grass right there. It's actually creating indentation in the turf with the amount of pressure that I'm building up in it. So I think this is a really great way to build a station for the player who struggles with leg locking, extending the ankle too much and getting the shin to work too far back, that probably comes into the golf ball and early extends. So I'm right in here. I'm about a fist away from this. Work this up. I don't feel it. And I feel like I'm extending the leg. And then I would go. All right, so really good way that you can work on this. Promise you this, give yourself feedback stations when you're working different feels. Make sure you have a commitment of some sort, that you know what you're trying to feel. My commitment for this is that I can actually feel the ground being twisted because of how the center of the pelvis is working into it. It's not just flaring everything and letting the trail side go wherever it wants to. Center of the pelvis works in. The leg extends without the shin and the knee completely locking. So give that a go. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you haven't, please click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell right there, and that's going to notify you every time that I release a new YouTube video. Also, if you haven't, check out that last video that I did. It's right here, pinned to the screen. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave those below, and I will make sure I get back to each and every one of you. So, thank you again. Appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.